sets than the super tiebreak.
Yeah, because they might get fatigued playing 3 sets of mixed doubles, so let's shorten it up a little bit. Well, it's good to see that Sharapova certainly is willing to stick around and play the mix, but how about Martina? Is this really it for her? She says it is, but I find that hard to believe.
Well, she said at the beginning of the year that this was it. Now it's gone to probably. So
Okay.
that's a good sign for me. But, you know, she's come back so strong, and it takes you a while to get that shape back. She's worked so hard. Now that she's playing this well, I'd love to see her continue to play.
Wouldn't we all? How about Leander Paes? What a story he is. Leander at 31, coming from Calcutta, and he's had some serious physical problems.
Amazingly, while Paes and Navratilova were winning the mixed doubles at Wimbledon last season, 2003, Leander Paes began to feel dizzy, had some spells on court, and after Wimbledon, checked into a hospital in Orlando and learned that he had a life-threatening brain lesion. 6 weeks of hospitalization.
It's very scary at Wimbledon. He got so dizzy he almost fell over in that match. Had to hold on to Martina, and she said, "Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah, I can play on."
And it was caused, remarkably, it was determined that Leander's brain lesion was caused by vegetables grown in contaminated soil, which is that's a wake-up call for all of us,
isn't it?
Not able to play here at the Open
Right,
with
last
Martina,
year.
and she didn't get another partner.
But the good news for Leander Paes, not only back healthy playing tennis, just became a dad again.
It's great news. Not just good news.
Right.
And look at the hands from Martina.
She's well out in front.
Well, I love the fact that Martina's got so much character, and she just continues to show it. She couldn't play with Leander, so she sat out. Says, "I'm not playing again mixed doubles until I can play with Lee." Here's a look at the draw.
Navratilova and Paes, an 8th seed. Sharapova and Mirnyi took out the 2nd seeds, Cara Black and Wayne Black. Getting a little confused at in the opening, the Black family,
Right.
the Black team.
Well,
doesn't sound good.
Well, to mention, since they won the Wimbledon championship, that's a pretty good win for Sharapova and Mirnyi.
Very good.
Couldn't help but notice, Jim, you were there to watch it at the Olympics, which throws a little twist into doubles. Leander Paes reunited with his longtime partner, Mahesh Bhupathi.
That's right.
They played there and back split again here at the Open.
Yeah, they came together this summer like so many of the doubles teams that are from the same country and had a history together. They reunited leading into the Olympics this year. And Leander committed to play for his country and play well. They were disappointed to come up short for the bronze. They played an epic match against the Croatian team. They lost 16-14 in the third in the bronze to Ljubicic and Ancic.
Maria Sharapova continuing to wear the black ribbon in memory of the horrific tragedy in Russia. The international flavor of tennis has never been more felt this week when we've watched this horrific news come to us from Russia and how it's impacted the many players from that country, and then the many players whose lives were affected the last few days by the impending storms in Florida.
And there's one more out there in the Atlantic that we hope steers away from Florida. Florida's taken enough.
Great return from Sharapova. Leander Paes' feet. Inside out backhand. Look at where Sharapova's standing. She's ready to cover that middle.
If I'm Leander, I'm hitting one to her left. Just to say, you know what, you might want to move that nice orange outfit out of the way. Might just throw, it's like throwing a pitch behind someone's head.
A purpose serve, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'd still stand there.
Well, then I'd hit you with the next one, Tracy.
Go for it.
Max Mirnyi.
You don't seem that vicious in person.
Yeah. Yeah. How about, well, this guy, they don't call him the Beast because he's a kind and gentle man. This guy, he can be very animalistic on the court. He's definitely a presence. There's no doubt about it.
The positioning in doubles is so key. You've got to make your opponents feel like there's less room. Like Max Mirnyi up here, he's going to stand more towards the center line than towards the alley, making that space for Navratilova feel smaller to hit into.
And he will be moving. Both of these male players will be moving a lot. Both of these guys are veteran doubles players. They understand how to shrink the court for the return of server. And they'll do a little fake here, a fake there. Martina goes right at him.
Which is a good move right away, I think. It's like, okay, you're going to move, I'm going to make you stay home. Don't mind hitting it up your line.
Let me just be very clear that if I were playing Martina and she stood near the center of the court, I would not hit the ball behind her.
You don't want to incur her wrath.
I don't think so. No, I think that Maria might be a little softer right now. I don't think that she's got quite the experience to come right back at you. You might be able to intimidate her. Yeah, you think?
Yeah. Nothing intimidates Maria Sharapova. I haven't seen anything yet.
Al Trowwick certainly didn't intimidate her, did he?
Sharapova going with the serve and staying back. He's trying to drill those ground strokes. Navratilova is going to try to get in on every shot that she can.
The showman, Leander Paes there. He's got amazing hands.
So a break of serve, mixed doubles action. Navratilova and Paes are up.
So we're all set for Hawaii. Flight, hotel. Hey, look, we can book surf.
And this will be Martina Navratilova serving up a break in the first set of this mixed doubles.
Paes left a bit early. First round, Smashnova, Pistolesi, and Graham. And there's that upset. Number 2 seeds, Carr and Wayne Black. Look where Leander stands when Martina's serving. He's really making his presence known up there at the net.
They had a tough first round matchup.
Now he's got the I formation. Excuse me.
Navratilova and Paes coming through a tough first round. Taking out Mark Knowles and Hantikova.
Hantikova has a couple Grand Slam mixed doubles titles under her belt. She's a good mixed doubles player.
Knowles, one of the best men's doubles players out there.
40-15.
Men's doubles is up for grabs with the Bryan brothers out and the number 1 seeds out, Bjorkman and Woodbridge.
That's right.
They got knocked out by Leander Paes. His partner David Reichel.
Jim, what's up with the Bryan brothers? They lost in the quarters of the Olympics as well. That was their gold.
Mike's not healthy. Mike Bryan has a hip problem that he's been treating all summer. He actually got injections before they came here to the U.S. Open, and he's trying to hang in there until they get past the Davis Cup in a couple of weekends and possibly take some time there, but they're just not healthy.
That makes sense.
So Max Mirnyi has a chance. He and his partner, of all people, Mahesh Bhupathi, Paes' old partner, they're the defending men's doubles champs.
Game, Navratilova, Paes.
So the hold for Navratilova and Paes for 3-1 first set. You can watch USA Network's coverage of the U.S. Open in high definition on Bravo HD+. Check your local listings for availability.
Looks like Mirnyi and Sharapova need an air traffic controller out there.
Exactly right.
They're crossing all over each
They
other.
look like windshield wipers.
But Mirnyi, I love it. He tries to control the court. Maria said in the interview at the beginning, I just kind of stand there, although she hasn't, but Max is all over the court. It's very intimidating. One ball she let go, and Max was right there to volley it. It's the first time that Maria and Max have played together.
15-0.
They've known each other since they were 7 from Bollettieri's. Max's dad, Nikolai, and Maria's dad, Yuri, are friends, and apparently Nikolai suggested that they play together here.
30-15.
Well, that's how it happens. The partners here, a lot of the time, are formed just on the grounds before the tournament. The entry comes after the singles actually even starts. And players will be walking around the lounge looking for partners. Well, this is fortuitous for them that they came together. Max blasting away, 128-mile-an-hour serve.
40-15.
And Max trying to get out some frustration because he and Bhupathi earlier today got knocked out of the men's doubles by the Spaniards, Nadal and Robredo. So the top, or 3 of the top 4 seeds in the men's doubles are out.
First serve.
Just Knowles and Nestor, the 3 seeds remain. Who won that damn Suk and Gonzalez-Masu match?
Excuse me?
Yeah, I was just setting you up, Ted.
Exactly.
Martin Dam, Cyril Suk, the Czech Republic. Who won that match? Do we know?
No clue.
Gonzalez and Masu, there's confirmation.
They're the Olympians.
The gold medalist. So there's
That's right. So they're still in it. They got Knowles Nestor in the quarters. This is we are just double central.
They are going to become the double specialists here, Jim.
So
It
we're
was unbelievable.
trying to do. So
Game, Sharapova.
why not? Hey,
I'm
$200,000 to win
I'm
each.
talking about Masu and Gonzalez.
Now, those guys aren't bad either.
Navratilova, Paes. Lead 3-2. First serve.
This is 3rd round mixed doubles. We will see the #1 women's player and defending champion Justine Henin-Ardenne. She'll be on court coming up after this. Roger Federer, the #1 man, through. His opponent Andre Pavel withdrew today. So we're seeing some mixed doubles. To take the place of the men's match on this card. Think tomorrow night's going to be any fun? Capriati against Serena.
I say yes.
Roddick against Robredo.
Awesome.
Not bad tomorrow night. But let's go back to the previous point. Take a look at Leander Paes.
Ooh. Hey now. That is not good.
Looks like he locked his knee.
And a little ginger after that serve as well coming in. And he's a guy that relies on those wheels to allow his hands to really flourish. He's very quick around the court. Needs his mobility. And Mirnyi tries to pick on Martina there, and there's nothing doing.
How simple she keeps it. Not a big swing. Just hands out in front, blocks it. Uses Mirnyi's pace.
Game Navratilova pace.
So hold a serve for Leander Paes, and they have a 4-2 lead in the first set.
Navratilova pace lead 4 games to 2.
Now it's the end of the Labor Day weekend. Again, very September-like feel in New York. But tonight, you're going to see action. People coming back.
Here comes traffic again.
Yeah.
School tomorrow here in New York. First day of school for most youngsters.
La Pasión.
The one serve that has been broken, Sharapova's.
You like her serve, Tracy?
I do.
What do you like about it?
I like all the aces.
She's got that little Sampras foot thing going, huh? The left foot lifts up.
She's studied Pete's tapes.
Kind of cocks her wrist up at the net, too, like Pete. That is very much like Pete on takeoff.
Love 30.
I talked to Robert Lansdorp about it, and they definitely have studied Pete's tapes. And because Robert didn't teach Pete that serve, helped Pete Sampras more with the ground stroke.
Was he a guru back then? When did he get this self-proclaimed guru status? When did that happen?
I take the fifth.
Yeah.
I've gotten in trouble.
For those of you not watching the first week of the U.S. Open, Robert Lansdorp has been wearing a shirt that says Lansdorp.com.
Still there, Jim.
He's still wearing that miserable black T-shirt.
Not the same one, though.
He should know better. It said guru on it.
30-0.
And he thought Nick Bollettieri was a self-promoter. Tracy, take us through this Sharapova serve.
Okay, she's got that left foot up. And then she's got good knee bend there and good shoulder turn, hips turn. Good racket acceleration, keeps the head up, snaps the wrist at the top. Basically, everything's working together.
Wow, Paes trying to slug it with Sharapova there.
Oh, that
There
is
it is.
disgusting, Robert. Goodness. Have you no sense of decency, sir?
Jim, tell us how you really
No,
feel.
I like Robert. I'm kidding,
Well.
but that shirt's too much.
But the historical reference is beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Nicely done by Paes.
Tracy, I have one problem right now with Maria's serve. I think technically it looks very good, but one thing that I think is going to hinder that a little bit is she doesn't really come forward with it nicely. If she ever wants to throw serve and volley into the mix, her body weight is not following it through to the net as well as I think it can. She sort of leans back when she lands rather than going forward.
Just lean forward on that one.
Who, Martina?
No.
No. Watch your right leg. If we can get another replay of that serve here in
Well,
the
she
next little
landed
bit.
inside the court, but then she's serving and staying back, so she doesn't want to move too far forward.
Exactly my point. Watch the right leg. When she lands, it will go backwards. And that needs to be swinging around her body to move forward if she wants to ever be able to serve and volley.
I don't think she wants to right now.
Very nice.
Well, okay, Dr. Curry, your turn.
Let's take a look at it, because everybody else, by and large, the right foot will end up in front if even thinking about coming in the net. But watch the right foot stay behind. That foot should come up even in front of her left foot and then push off in her back to the baseline. Push her back off. I don't know if I can get the words out, but the right foot should land around that, about 3 feet inside, and then she should push back. That way she has the option to come in if she wants to. At least she can block her opponent if she might be coming in.
Well, they know she's not coming in now. I mean, she hasn't
Don't be
served-
defensive.
No, she hasn't served and volleyed once. And, you know, that's the way, unfortunately, in my opinion, that women's doubles is going. I mean, we saw at the Olympics in the finals, there were some points where all 4 women were at the baseline, even the men.
Men's was unbelievable, too. Yeah, Gonzalez and Massou serving and staying back.
I actually think that Maria could use this. I mean, she's having so much fun out there. She's told me that. She loves playing with Max, is enjoying this thoroughly, especially it's almost a relief after all the pressure of the singles. I think it would be so great for her to serve and volley, to practice hitting that first volley, to practice more half volleys.
And there's nothing like doing it in match play. You can do it in practice all you want, but out here, it's a totally different vibe.
It's a break point again on her serve, and Max is kind of just getting stuck up there at the net with Sharapova running along the baseline.
Well, with Maria staying back, Max has to be active. He's got to really try and dictate because he knows that Martina is certainly going to try and get in. So that puts even more pressure on Max with Maria staying back for him to be active at the net. Should we tell some more stories? We're getting pretty technical. What do you think? Go.
That's where I would serve. Good serve from Sharapova. If you're serving to Martina.
See, but I'm sitting here thinking about the serve thing for Sharapova. If you're a pitcher and you don't drive forward, you get no oomph on your pitch. I think the same thing with a server, right?
Well, she gets good oomph on it. I just think
she get more.
She'd have more, yeah.
But I'm saying, if she swung the right leg through, like you're saying most people do, would she get more?
Yeah, I agree. It's logical, but it's hard to argue too much with her pace. That's a 98-mile-an-hour first serve, which, by the way, the radar gun is in the center of the court, so it doesn't give you as much credit when you're serving out wide because it doesn't pick your speed up until the ball crosses the middle of the plane.
New ball, please.
The Navratilova forehand has a much easier time of getting it down at her opponent's feet.
Well, just to be...
The umpire has the score wrong.
Yes, exactly. Just to prove that even the best can lose track sometime. The chair umpire just confused the score. I know how you feel, Diana. Don't worry. The good news here is the 4 players, Lou.
Exactly.
Advantage Navratilova.
Not like what happened at Wimbledon with Venus and Scrim.
Tracy, does everyone on the women's tour have a hyphenated last name? Even the umpires do. Six deuces.
Oh, we're getting a lot of chance to watch Sharapova serve.
Advantage Sharapova.
99 miles an hour. Pretty good pop.
What's your second serve?
Second serve is very good. Very difficult to attack. She's been throwing in a few more double faults than she would have wanted to. She threw in 12 against Michona Washington in New Haven when she lost that match.
Oh, man. Is that good?
Quick feet and spectacular hands. Great feel. And great anticipation as well.
Well, watch Leander know this is going that way, so he takes off. And in the flick of the wrist, and splits the opponent.
He can start to tell because of Max's racket head.
Advantage Sharapova.
So frustrated to miss that after such a great shot.
Especially because there was nobody home. Max had moved to his right.
Serve and volley.
Game, Sharapova, Mirnyi.
Well, a long one, but finally have a hold to serve for Sharapova and Mirnyi.
Navratilova Paes leads 4 games to 3.
Tonight here in USA. And Martina got her serving hat on.
15-0.
Don't forget, we do have singles now. If you're expecting to see Roger Federer tonight, once again, his opponent, Andre Pavel, had to withdraw with a bad back today, but Justine Enenardin, defending champion, will be out there trying to get the last spot in the women's quarters. Max Mirnyi getting ready. He's got an appointment with the United States Davis Cup team in a couple of weeks.
Sure does.
Belarus and the United States in the semifinals. Max do the marathon. He'll play all singles and the doubles.
That's right. Vladimir Volchkov. And the Americans playing them on a hard court surface, very similar to this one here in the U.S. Open. And playing them in a place that unfortunately right now is turning into sort of Hurricane Alley down there. Yeah. Could be slightly risky weather-wise to play in Charleston, South Carolina.
Game, Navratilova Paes.
But the thought process there for the U.S. was to try and, because Mirnyi and Volchkov would be playing all 3 matches, try and take them where it's hot and humid. Use that home court advantage. Now the bigger question, Ted, is who plays the second singles? Right. After the debacle here for the American men's singles other than Agassi and Roddick.
That is a very big question for Patrick McEnroe, the Davis Cup captain, to resolve in the next, I would assume, week or so, Jim?
Yeah, he needs to, probably right after the U.S. Open, make a call there.
This first set's, you have the feeling watching it that Navratilova and Paes are not being threatened. Feeling that they're pretty much in command.
I would say that's an accurate statement.
For Leander, it is fun to see the best doubles players play, which Leander Paes falls in that category.
And Martina, without question, the greatest of all time on the women's side. The understanding and the communication that Navratilova and Paes have, it's noticeable here. You can see the other side.
Oh! Look at the body language.
They're having fun.
They are.
Why not?
Just went over the net. Navratilova lifts up her leg. Trying to get that ball over the net. Hits it a little late, but it works for a winner.
So
three break points, excuse me, and set points.
15-40.
And Big Max saves one. Because Max Mirnyi and Martina played with each other. A couple of slams when Martina was first getting back into the doubles groove in 2001.
Max Mirnyi has a couple of mixed doubles grand slams with Serena Williams.
$30-40.
He's also won a slam with Boupady, and Leander Paes has won 3 with Boupady.
Will we see Sharapova play a lot of doubles, you think, Trace?
You know, I don't think so. She doesn't play much doubles, but I think, you know, it's hard because most of the doubles is very late, and you know, she wants to save herself for the singles.
Really?
But she's coming up. She's got a week off after the Open, then she goes to Beijing, Seoul, and Tokyo.
One thing I think that's great about the women's tour is they tend to play more doubles at the top than the men's.
It's becoming less and less,
That's
though.
a shame. It's a real shame.
And then Ardan doesn't play. Resmo rarely plays. Good volley.
Sharapova, Mirnyi.
Well, nice save there. 3 set points saved, and they'll force Navratilova Paes to serve for the
Navratilova
set.
Paes leads 5 games to 4, first set.
Frankenstein this October.
Women's singles to follow. And here Leander Paes serving for the first set for his team. I'm just looking at the women's doubles draw, just to back up Jim's question about Sharapova. Of all of the top women's singles contenders, the only ones playing doubles here are the Russians, except for Sharapova, and she's playing mixed. All of the Russians are playing women's doubles, but
30 left.
I can't, unless I'm missing anybody, I don't really see anybody else who you consider a contender.
Anastasia Moskina played with Vera Zvonareva. They withdrew from their first round. Kuznetsova and Mihosova are second seeds. Like it used to be when Hingis was playing, she was #1 in the world in singles and doubles. Arantxa Sanchez Vicario, #1 in the world singles doubles.
Lindsay played quite a bit.
Lindsay was #1 in the world singles and doubles, and then Navratilova. Those are the 4 on the women's side. And obviously, I mean, Justine rarely, if ever, plays doubles, but she's never going to play now with just coming back from the virus.
Oof. That was beastly.
40-15.
So still 2 set points. And Leander Paes puts that away, so Navratilova and Paes looking to reach the semifinals. They're halfway there.
Games to 4.
Mixed doubles special on Prime Time at the Open, presented by American Express. Paes in this third round mixed doubles match, and our tournament summary tonight brought to you by Cadillac. And tomorrow night, kicking off our night session here on USA, Serena Williams and Jennifer Capriati, a third Grand Slam quarterfinal meeting this year. Venus, though, is out. Lindsay Davenport defeats her today in a round of 16 match. And 5 Americans are still in the singles competition. We'll see a couple tomorrow night. We'll see 3 of them, in fact. Serena against Capriati first, and then Andy Roddick in his 4th round match against Tommy Robredo. So tomorrow, the ladies' quarters will begin. Men will complete the round of 16. And in a tournament that's been blessed so far with great weather, we're all keeping our fingers crossed for this week.
Boy, are we ever. Potentially that weather could come our way. We certainly hope that it will dissipate between now and then, because boy, the weather has been spectacular this year at the U.S. Open. The humidity has been, it's vanished. Where's it been? Incredible.
Great for the players, isn't it?
Amazing.
15-30.
Of course, Wednesday, if the schedule stays true to form, a match that has been long anticipated, which is Roger Federer and Andre Agassi. Federer didn't have to play tonight. Andre didn't have to play much today.
Well, Agassi's had the ideal preparation for that quarterfinal match. He's gotten his groove. He didn't really have it in the early rounds, according to him. But his last 2 matches, he's been very, very comfortable on the court. And importantly, he hasn't had to spend much time or energy out there. Plenty of gas in his tank.
Paes beautiful up the alley.
30-40.
Federer, the question is, will Federer now feel out of rhythm early in his match against Agassi after having had 3-4 days without a competitive match?
And facing a break point here. Watch these hands from Leander Paes. That's the old scooper. Had a little spin on it. Max Mirnyi adjusted very well. Places it at Navratilova's feet. Good communication. Navratilova just letting Paes letting him know that she's not going to get that one. That acceleration on that forehand, and it gets down with the backhand. Perfectly measured.
Well, Big Max thought he had a winner there.
Paes gave the old fake and stayed, and he was there for the winner.
Well, Leander Paes was moved by what he learned from the tennis community during his illness last year.
Yes, that's the great part about the tour here, is that we're all a big community, and as cutthroat and as professional as it is, you do have an ability to make friends with a lot of the guys and the players out here. So got many emails, phone calls, cards and things like that, and the support I got through a trying time was overwhelming. And I must say that being one who kind of thrives on that, I believe that I mustered up all the courage from all my peers and well-wishers around the world to get myself better and be out here playing this wonderful game of ours.
You know, Tracy and Jim, that's something we heard when Karina Marario went through her illness several years ago, and you hear it again. Part of you sits there and says, I wish tennis would do more to, as an institution, to let people know that the players care like that.
That's been one of my main criticisms of both tours, really, is that as much charity work as the tours do, you never see a 30-second spot on air, do you? Like you do from the NFL. The United Way ads that the NFL does lets the public know that the players are giving back.
Please, no flash photography during the flight.
And around the world, players do that. Coming up, of course, world number 1, Justine Henin-Ardenne against Nadia Petrova. They'll be on after the mixed, but back to my point, I just think that we need, as a community, need to communicate better to the public that we are giving back, that we are charitable, and we are aware and good corporate citizens.
And I think it was neat when he talked about he feels like it's a tennis community, a tennis family. And it really is, even though everybody's so competitive. We're out here for a long time, long careers. Many come back to be coaches.
30 seconds.
Well, Trace, maybe you can explain the one glaring weakness in that tennis community statement that we do believe in. Why, when Monica Seles came back from injury, did the players not vote for her to maintain that #1 ranking? Why did that happen? Don't shake your head at me. Answer the question.
30 on.
Jim Courier has not let this go.
Yeah, I can't answer that one. What's saddest part about the whole thing is that Gunther Parch got his wish.
That's ridiculous. He didn't go to jail, and Steffi Graf went back to #1. By the way, I adore Steffi Graf. Nothing against her. It was not her fault.
But those are two completely separate issues. The issue you're questioning is the tennis issue.
Very much so.
Right.
And how can the players
Especially
not
when he
vote on
states that that's the reason that he did it.
Okay, let's keep it positive. That was a beautiful backhand. The Wimbledon champion steps into this backhand, and we're right back into tennis. But I still wonder.
You're leading the legions. There are legions who are right behind you on that one.
Paes facing a break point. We're discussing where they're going to serve to Sharapova. Long discussion, because Sharapova is actually returning very well tonight. Not that that's a surprise.
Max Mirnyi will be returning this break point.
Yes. Need something good to happen, Mirnyi and Sharapova. This would be it.
And Max playing in the ad court. That's where most of the big points happen. Well, Navratilova handles that assignment for her team.
Leander Paes, he gained 42 pounds during his treatment when he was gone and had to lose about 45 in the 7 weeks leading up to the Australian this year. Said that coin toss, that first match, he was so emotional, just so happy to be back playing.
Called out.
Hey, Leander's ponytail holder is just not tight enough. That ponytail keeps coming out. Look at that volley. Gets down so well. Solid as a rock. Very close, but just long.
You hear the crowd reacting to the replay on the Jumbotron here.
And Paes finally puts the smash away. And they're at 2-love now in the second set.
We talked about positioning. About 3 shots before that point ended, Leander Paes was right in the middle of the court. Really taking over. So quick.
So let me ask you this, Trace, since Jim alluded to the serve of Sharapova. Is Lansdorf, Robert Lansdorf, is he a serve guru as well?
No. Ground stroke guru.
So we can't pin this one on
You know,
him.
and that's the thing, is that, you know, I don't think there's any one coach out there that can teach you every aspect of the game perfectly.
Tracy, there's someone out there who might have an issue with that. Actually, I've read some material from one Richard Williams, who is a coach of 2 very famous tennis players, who has a difference of opinion with you about. He's questioning your family background. You've been challenging whether he's the one to continue coaching his daughters. If you suggested they should maybe seek some help for their forehands.
Yeah,
I'd love a rebuttal.
Sound like you have a talk show now. Ooh, it hands in. Yeah, what I said in her match 2 matches ago, that Venus was really struggling with her forehand, and she actually has struggled with her forehand since coming back. And I just don't think that forehand is quite as technically sound as the backhand is.
And what could she do to fix it? Would another coach help her?
So what I was suggesting was that not to change coaches completely from from mom and dad, because they've obviously done a terrific job, but maybe add another coach. Like, I mean, Bollettieri seems to teach the forehand. I've never taken from Bollettieri, but he seems to coach the forehand unbelievably well. And just as I suggested, Hingis, when she was struggling with the serve at the end of her career, keep her mom as a coach, but go to a serving specialist. So, you know, I think that Venus Williams at number 12 in the world is way too talented for being number 12 in the world. And that forehand is the one that breaks down. During the match, when I said it, she had 2 winners on the forehand and 19 unforced errors on that side. So I was really just thinking to try to clean up the game, not being critical of him. He's done a terrific job. But to come back and attack me personally was, I kind of laughed. I didn't really take it badly. Because
Richard Williams is quoted in the New York Post today. That's the reference Jim is
the
making.
paper of record
and
here.
Richard Williams would not be the right person to be questioning anybody else's family background.
I think actually he's done a great job with his girls. They're well-rounded. They're well-educated. And he's taken them both to number 1 in the world. But just on the record, I had a good childhood.
Okay.
My parents didn't beat me.
And what's the score?
So Sharapova and Mirnyi on the board here in the second set, but still a set and a break for Navratilova and Paes.
Second set.
Point in this fourth game. Second set mixed doubles. If they split sets, if Sharapova and Mirnyi can rebound here, they'll settle this with a super tie break. And in a 32-team field, that means the winner of this match is in the semifinals.
Finals right here on USA Network on Thursday afternoon.
Oh, man. Just missed.
And for the people at home, we really should replay that to show how Navratilova is well out of the court. Leander Paes took care of the middle. Martina is pulled to her left, so Paes is right in the middle of the court.
40 love.
And that's what you've got to do, is you've got to move with your partner like you have rope tied around each other's waists.
Three games to 1.
Well, so far, it's the experience that's taking care of it here. There's no question that there's plenty of talent on the other side of the net with Mirnyi and Sharapova, but right now, the communications definitely better with the veterans here. They're just moving better. They've got that rope thing done.
Poor Navratilova is ready in case Sharapova intercepts the volley, which she doesn't need to do after that serve, to cover that middle.
Buck 32 on the IBM gun. He can bring it.
Jim, what's your sense of Mirnyi's singles here? What's happened to him? He's had a slip.
Well, his game is, it's a little bit risky. You know, he comes in on a lot of dicey stuff, you know, and if he's not feeling it on his volleys, he's going to struggle because he really will bluff a lot of the time with his approach shots.
Bluff meaning
come in on stuff that no one else on tour would come in on. He'll hit a block return where most guys would be thinking, I've got to defend, this guy's going to hit a winner, and he'll just be charging the net. And if he's not super confident with his movement and with his volleys, he's going to get hurt. It's a high-risk, high-reward game, and he has not gotten a payout this year.
Paes to keep those hands out in front. I think that was a little protection as well. See how they were moving towards that side of the court. Even when the ball is on the other side of the court, you've got to follow it. So on the left side of the court, you move to your left. See, that was lack of communication from Sharapova and Mirnyi. Mirnyi didn't know which way to go. Didn't know if Sharapova was going to follow up and move all the way to her right. Paes and Navratilova have played enough together now. More experienced doubles players. You can read it a little better.
Game, Sharapova, Mirnyi.
So Mirnyi holds his serve for their team. But they're going to need a break here to stay in this mixed doubles match.
Paes lead 3 games to 2. 7-6. Yeah, it'll be good.
In Ardennes, singles match with Nadia Petrova.
15-0.
You look at Maria Sharapova, Tracy, and think about her at 17 with the Wimbledon Championship, yet her tennis development has been split really between 2 different coaches. 2 different schools, at least. Bollettieri in Florida, Lansdorf in California.
Very much so. I mean, I worked with Lansdorf for most of my career, but I wanted to become a little bit more aggressive, work on my volleys, try to have somebody help me with my serve. So that's when I employed Marty Reese, and I won the 2nd U.S. Open working with Marty. Way to move forward, cut the angle off. And when I was at home, oftentimes I would go down to Newport Beach, which was about an hour south of where I lived. There's Robert Lansdorf, and work with Roy Emerson, again, to try to make me more aggressive. So that just, is more follow-up to my point with Venus and Serena. There's no reason not to add a coach or 2 to help you with different parts of your game. There's nothing wrong with it.
Every sport, this leads me to my annual question. Every sport has specialist coaches. Every sport that I know of, except tennis.
Right.
Well, tennis players hire their coaches, too, which is different than pretty much every other sport.
Right. That's right.
Maybe golf being the exception to that rule, but it's not a general manager.
But you've got the
scenario.
pitching coach.
You're the whole thing, yeah.
Batting coach. If you're having a problem with one particular area of your game, why not go to a specialist? I always thought Hingis should have gone to Pete Fisher, who taught Pete Sampras. And Pete, by the way, Pete Sampras, he had 3 coaches growing up.
Great night to fly again for our crew in the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company's fleet of airships, and always reminding you to travel with peace of mind on Goodyear's new Assurance tires.
One person in Pete Sampras' career that never gets credit is Del Little. He worked with him a lot on footwork and some on his serve as well.
Ooh. Well, that's a surprise to me because I've never heard that name before.
Yep.
I spent my whole life in locker rooms with Pete Sampras. I never heard him mention that guy's name.
Yep.
Who is he?
Del Little. He was a manager of the Kramer Club, where Pete grew up.
Game, Sharapova, Mirnyi.
Gives the game to Sharapova and Mirnyi. Navratilova Paes 2 games away.
Navratilova Paes lead 4 games to 2.
Of this mixed doubles match, Martina Navratilova trying to make the semifinals with Leander Paes. Still alive in the women's doubles with Lisa Raymond. Martina again asking Leander if he's all right. Why quit now if you're Martina?
Exactly.
Playing this
She
well.
looks like she's having so much fun. You know, during her retirement, she played Legends with us for about 4 years. She was playing ice hockey. She was doing some woodworking. She didn't enjoy that. She's having a great time now.
We happened to bump into her, Tracy, the other night after she finished a late women's doubles match. She did look a little tired.
She did. It's about 12:30 on the elevator.
30 yards.
And maybe that's the time you see the little bit of a toll that working as hard as Martina does to stay this fit would take.
She turned pro in 1975. And that's just incredible.
40-30.
She's such a terrific ambassador for the game worldwide. We're so lucky to have her back in the game. And playing at this level, why not keep going? Why not? I just don't see any downside, unless the workload is just too much for her. But her smile tells me it's not.
Navratilova, Paes.
So 1 game away, and I'll tell you now, Jim, I'm going to follow up on your tackle. But I'll tell you what disappointed me this summer were the random complaints you heard when Martina was given some wild cards into some events in singles. The complaints come from the lower end of players that might not get in because of that. And you stop and you think every player today should bow before Martina.
Should tie
and Chris
Martina.
and Tracy and all the champions that in the women's game in particular paved the way, obviously starting with Billie Jean, for the equality that they have now.
I had a real problem with it at Wimbledon. I mean, the French, she won a few times, but clay was never her forte as much as the grass at Wimbledon. She's won 9 Wimbledons. I think if Martina wants to play Wimbledon at any time, and especially, I mean, she's truly in shape. And she's been out there this year. I mean, she's winning doubles titles. It's not like she's coming out there for a hobby.
And she won a round at Wimbledon.
0-1. She pummeled her first round opponent.
Castagno, and then lost in 3 sets to Dolko.
Well, if the Masters lets their champions come back and play in golf, why shouldn't we have Martina Navratilova playing at Wimbledon, where she's the greatest to ever grace that surface on the women's side? Look at these numbers. Will they ever be matched? Never. That's a tough word to use, but it's going to be awfully difficult.
Retired in 94 from singles.
40 low.
Actually, she says she came back kind of on accident. She was over at Wimbledon doing some TV. Look at that, 167 career titles.
Pete Sampras wants a wild card at Wimbledon. They should give him one, too. Absolutely.
Game, Sharapova, Mirnyi.
So we'll come back, and the team of Navratilova and Paes will serve for the match.
Navratilova, Paes, lead.
And Navratilova and Paes in this mixed doubles special. Trying to advance to the semifinals, and Paes serve.
Wow. Look at that athleticism.
30 left.
Leander up, Martina with a reflex, and then look at the cat. Just thump that volley. Hey, this is turning up a notch here.
Four spectacular shots. You see when Leander moved Sharapova out wide, that Navratilova moved to her left, covering her line. Didn't go there, but she was ready. Touch volley by Max Mirnyi.
These guys look like a pretty good 8th seed.
Yeah, fairly strong, one might say.
Might be the end of Sharapova's Open right here.
Navratilova and Paes, to the delight of this Ash Stadium crowd. I think this is another statement about Martina, more than any of the other players. How much this crowd disappointed tonight they won't see Federer, but appreciative they saw Martina.
So much respect. 48 years old she'll be turning in October. And you know, with ovations like this, when you're in this good a shape, I think she should stay around.
Well, she might get to play on this court again. Obviously, the mixed doubles final is played inside Ash. And for Maria Sharapova, her first U.S. Open as a champion. Carrying that Wimbledon title is finished.
Nice to play a little mix, though, after she lost. You know, so much fun playing with Max. I saw a little bit of her last match in the mix, and you know, it's just so different than the singles where it's so intense. Sharapova now will go back to California and train. Next up, Alicia Mullock and Todd Woodbridge. Woodbridge, one of the best doubles players of all times as well. Surprise, Bob Bryan and Swanarave at the top, and Renee Stubbs and Nestor.
#1 seeds, they're alive in the semis. So Navratilova and Paes back together this year are through to the semis of mixed doubles. Justine and Ardennes still to come. We'll have a studio recap.